Hey, what's up, everybody? Back again. Couldn't be more excited. The Packers' day 2 of training camp has finished off, and to be expected, Rodgers looks great. They always say he does, and every time they ask LaFleur, how does Rodgers look? He's always like, he looks like the MVP. He looks awesome. He always comes in ready to go. So just always a little side note, you kind of expect it now. We kind of take it for granted now, but I think hearing that Rodgers looks as good as he should and always does is just one of those things that we kind of, like I said, we expect, but you still want to hear it. You still want to make sure that, okay, yeah, he's doing what he has to do. And, it's only day 2 of camp. They still haven't got into pads, obviously. They're wearing those protective headgear things for collisions, so I think that's awesome. NFL is trying to take some safety precautions and make sure that these guys don't get unnecessary concussions and all those other things from all those collisions. Like we saw today at camp, there were some pretty big collisions. Luckily, all our players were able to get up and walk away from those, but today there was one guy that was hurt yesterday that was able to suit up. Jonathan Garvin, one of the outside linebackers. I really feel like him and Randy Ramsey are going to be the guys that take over that third and fourth spot for outside linebacker besides behind Rashawn and Preston Smith. I do like JJ and Nagbar. He's just kind of raw. He might be like the fifth outside linebacker they keep, but I really look for Garvin to kind of take that next step. Hopefully he can stay healthy and make some plays. So good to see him back out on the field, that is for sure. Notables that were out again still were the guys coming off the ACL, Tanyan, Hill, Jenkins, and Bakhtiari, those four. Jenkins was running yesterday, and a guy that's that big and agile, if anybody's going to be ready from an ACL quicker than you'd think, it'll be a guy like him. So I think Jenkins will start week 1. I think he's probably set and projected to be ready by then. So we'll wait and see how it all formulates. But I really think that Jenkins will be ready. He's just really a freak athlete, especially a guy his size. And then other notables were Crosby, Watson, Christian Watson, the rookie. He's out with a knee. They don't think it's serious, but still, anytime it's a receiver with a knee, that's always an issue. Then Sammy Watkins out again. He's out with a hamstring. I think that's probably been his Achilles heel since 2013, 2014. Always seems that Watkins is hurt, and it always seems that it's a hamstring. I don't know, but with the emergence already of Romeo Doubs, obviously we have to see him do it in pads. There's been so many players throughout the years who dominate right now in t-shirt and shorts, but when they put the pads on, they kind of disappear. So I don't expect that from Doubs. Really think he is the real deal. I've been saying that from the beginning. My original 53-man prediction, a couple weeks ago before camp even started, I was all on Doubs. I really thought he could be the guy for sure. Same body type as Devonte, all those things, quick, and now we're seeing just day 2 what a playmaker he can be. So Watson and Watkins, coming off the injury, I think, like I said, Watkins, I think, might not make the squad. If he's not out there, he's hurt, and you got guys like Tor and Juwan Winfrey is just a training camp all-star, really. It's crazy. If you had I saw like a list of top receivers in Packers history. It's like Sterling Sharp, Don Hudson, and then training camp Juwan Winfrey, because of how good he is in camp, but doesn't really formulate onto the field. So something to watch. Watson's knee, he's young. He'll take some time, I think, but him being hurt right now is just a bad timing. It's kind of like, how COVID was around when Jordan Love came into the league. It just, he didn't get that first year at training camp, so he's kind of just been behind the 8 ball his entire career. Kind of the same thing with Watson here. He came out of a small school. He's younger. He's, now he's hurt, so it's going to take him some time to get ready to go and to be a playmaker in this league, while guys like Romeo are out there balling. So we'll see how that all works out. Receiver is one of my favorite positions to watch. There's just obviously the playmakers out in the field, but to see who Rodgers is going to have to throw to is just one of the most exciting parts of how this will all work out, because we can see just in camp that Rodgers is going to make it work. He's going to make whoever's out there work, and the Packers have guys out there that are really talented and can make some big plays. So I don't look for much of a drop-off at all. It just would be nice to have a guy like Watkins and a guy like Watson out there to add to the playmakers, because they do have dynamic talent when it comes to both of them. So other notables that were out today: Casey Nixon, Kylan Hill, the running back that tore his ACL last year. I think I said that. Randy Ramsey, he's out too. So Jonathan Garvin getting back early is kind of going to give him a head start against Ramsey for that third outside linebacker spot. It's kind of up for grabs, and whichever one performs the best obviously will get more snaps as that third or fourth middle linebacker, outside linebacker, sorry. So, middle linebacker is pretty much set with Devonte Campbell and Quay Walker, who looks phenomenal. So, Rasheed Walker's out also. He's the outside or offensive tackle from Penn State. He's young, he's raw. He's probably not going to make the team. I think he's a practice squad guy, but he's a guy that the Packers can kind of hold over till next year, see how he develops, and not have to risk anybody really taking him from the practice squad. So, and then Patrick Taylor and Akil Byers round out the guys who Malik Taylor, sorry, not Patrick Taylor. Patrick Taylor did practice today. Malik Taylor, the other wide receiver, which is why it's so important for Winfrey to really do well, because some of his competition's not out on the field, like Malik Taylor and like I said, Watkins and Watson. So will be very interesting to see how these receivers develop, who kind of steps up. We kind of see, like I said, Romeo Doubs, 2 big catches today. One where he was running like a slant route and met Darnell Savage right for the ball, and they both hit each other. They fell, but Doubs held on to the ball. It was only for like 7 or 8 yards, but still, big time play. And then probably the play of the day was a 50-50 ball in the end zone. Rodgers threw it up between Romeo and Eric Stokes, which has kind of been the little big battle in practice. The war inside the war. So very interesting to watch those guys battle it out. But on this play, 50-50 ball, Stokes and Romeo comes down with the ball. Pretty amazing catch. He kind of talked about it after practice, and he didn't really celebrate, and he said, I try to make sure I focus on the next play. That's the biggest thing for me. You can have a great play and then the next play be bad. So, he's saying that he's got the right mindset, he's got the talent, he's got the physical tools, and even when he does something good, he's not going to not get too high, not get too low, like Giannis used to say in that finals. Just everything that happens, kind of just roll with it, learn from it, keep moving forward, on to the next play, and so far, he's definitely somebody to watch, and somebody that I think is going to make some big plays for the Packers this year. I saw some projections where they're like, I still think he's going to be around like 300 yards or something. And if he's Rodgers' number 2 receiver, he's going to be like, probably double that, if not more. I do see Lazard making a lot of big plays, so I like that. I like that Lazard can be that number 1, and then Doubs can kind of be that number 2. It won't be so much pressure. He won't demand a lot of those double teams. I don't know who people are going to double team on the Packers. It's kind of going to be, like a blanket coverage, I think, and they're not going to know who Rodgers is kind of pinpointing, because there is no Devonte anymore. So it's going to be a lot more spread out, and a lot of these guys are going to have opportunities that they probably wouldn't have had if Devonte was there. So something to watch for. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So couldn't be cooler. That Rodgers is already kind of getting that rapport with Doubs and yeah, I look forward to the 1287 connection again, like the old Jordy Nelson and Rodgers connection in the past. Other notables from today, Rashawn Gary looks great. I've said this before, 15 sack projection on this season, if not more than that. He's been in the backfield pretty much all day, every snap since practice started. He's just a monster. I see him doing great things this year. He's just gonna keep getting better and better. He was like the number one recruit coming out of high school, going to Michigan. However many years that was ago now, 10 years ago, I'm guessing. But still, he had all the physical tools at Michigan. He didn't really develop. That you could just see the raw athletic ability at 6'4" and like 280, and the way he can move and bend and the speed and the power. So to be able to kind of translate that, show him good role models like Za'Darius and Preston, and kind of let him come on slow. And now Gary is ready, unleash Bane, I say. So we will see what happens, but I look for him to have a big year. And so now the guys he's going up against to try to get to the quarterback, there was a little shuffle on our offensive line this day of camp. So the left tackle yesterday was Yash because Bakhtiari is out. So today they moved Zach Tom to that spot, left tackle. Zach Tom's a rookie out of Wake Forest. He played center and left tackle at Wake Forest. Pretty much dominated both. The Jets drafted Jermaine Jackson out of Florida State, so he was probably the biggest, or Jermaine Johnson, the biggest profile player that that Zach Tom went up against and pretty much manhandled and dominated. So pretty cool that he's gone up against the elite competition and held his own, and I really think he has a chance to be a starter at least at one of these positions on the offensive line. I'm excited that he just got a chance to be with the ones at left tackle. That's huge for him. Since he was at left tackle, they moved Yash over to right tackle, and both of them kind of were inconsistent throughout the day, but both did make some big plays, or had some good blocks and held their own. So something to watch for, how this offensive line, kind of formulates and what they decide to do. Zach Tom did come in. He wanted to be, when he got drafted, he said he wanted to be a starter at all 5 positions. So we will see if he can get to that point. I like all these offensive linemen. So whoever they really pick to go, pick whatever 5 they pick to start, I think they're going to be the best 5. They're going to be a super solid offensive line, and that's all you can ask for. Obviously, having Bakhtiari and Jenkins in the mix pretty much opens it up for whoever you want to put wherever, and they will likely succeed, but it's going to be a competition until then. So next to Tom at left tackle was John Runyon Jr. at left guard, and then Josh Myers at center again, and Royce Newman at right guard, and then, like I said, Yash at right tackle. So that kind of was pretty much the same. They just kind of flip-flopped Yash and then brought Tom in. So instead of leaving Yash at the left tackle and bringing Tom in at right tackle, they want to kind of see what Tom can do and see if Yash can hold up on the right side. So just playing around, the Packers like having offensive linemen that are versatile and that can, play multiple positions. So again, here they go. If they can turn Tom into a starting left tackle, that's just Packers offensive line genius. They've been doing it forever. So we will see how it goes. Devonte Wyatt, first big play at camp. Or big day at camp. He had a few big plays and really starting to show up on screen or on film. I think he's gonna, kind of take a little time to kind of progress. He is 24, so he's kind of an old rookie or older rookie, but he's still, when you go to those bigger schools, you don't get a lot of time to play until you get to your, senior year. So he's still kind of raw. He's got a lot to learn, but just the physical tools are so dominant that I just can't wait to watch him blow up offensive lines all year long. Something I thought, I thought Patrick Taylor had the inside track for that running back 3 spot or running back 4 spot, depending on when Kylan Hill comes back. And I like Taylor. He's big, little physical runner, can catch decent, but the last 2 days, Tyler Goodson has come out and really surprised me. Catching balls out of the backfield, running, some nice cuts and runs, and Taylor had that fumble yesterday. So Goodson now, I feel, is like he's on the inside track. I had Taylor on the original 53-man prediction, and now I think Goodson's kind of stepping in front of him if the Packers do indeed keep 4 running backs. Kylan Hill is kind of going to be a starter, or not a starter, but the third guy, but it just depends on when he comes in or when he comes back from his ACL tear. So we'll see about that. Something to watch for, that running back 3-4 behind Dillon and Jones. Obviously, those guys won't get a lot of playing time with Dillon and Jones out there, but you do need a guy that's formidable and can handle carrying the rock if they need him to. So we will see. I do like what I see out of Goodson, though. So other guys playing well. Obviously, Jair Alexander, shut down corner. No one's even messing with throwing it near him or around him or any of that. So it's just awesome to see after him coming back from injury, and he he tried to play a few snaps in that San Francisco playoff game, but to see him back out there just shutting down that side of the field like we know he can do, it's really awesome, And then next to him, Sean Davis, kind of fighting for that safety spot. He's fighting for the safety spot behind Amos and Darnell Savage with Vernon Scott, Dallin Leavitt. He's like a special teams ace. We just signed him from the Raiders. Another Rich Bisaccia guy, along with Keyshawn Nixon, who's on the injured list right now. But both of those guys, because of their special teams ability, I think kind of have an inside line on making the team. If Bisaccia wants those guys, they kind of came over from the Raiders with him indirectly, but they're here because of him, and I think if he wants them and they perform well enough, they're going to make the squad just for their special teams ability, something that the Packers obviously struggled with last year. They fired Maurice Drayton, and they brought in Rich Bisaccia, so hopefully things will change, but something to watch for is that safety battle, because like I said, Dallin, Scott, and Davis, well, his name is Dallin Leavitt. Well, if he's good, we'll learn his name soon enough, right, guys? So, but and then Tyree Carpenter, the 7th round picked out of Georgia Tech. So, there's a few guys vying for position, trying to get that number 3 safety spot. Sean Davis making plays. Vernon Scott, hear his name called here and there, but it'll be another interesting battle. There's, the receiver battle, which guys are going to be out there, like first 1, 2, 3, 4, and then safety, who's going to be that 3rd, 4th safety, and then the D-line. D-line came in, and yesterday they had like Slayton and Lowry kind of rotating, so I thought Slayton had started, but it looks like it's Lowry's job next to Kenny Clark and Jaron Reed. That looks to be the starting 3. Packers do a lot of like linebacker, defensive lineman, rotational sets where they kind of have a weird package alignments where there's like 2 defensive linemen or 1 defensive lineman, a bunch of linebackers, all kinds of different formations. So the 3 guys though would be Lowry, Clark, and Reed, but that D-line battle is open too. Yesterday, Slayton was in the mix. Obviously, Devonte Wyatt's coming into his own a little bit, had his best day at camp. And so that battle behind Kenny Clark is pretty much wide open with Wyatt, Reed, Lowry, and Slayton. Who's going to be the best guy? And I look forward to seeing whoever they put next to Clark, because Clark and Gary are going to demand double teams, which leaves one-on-ones for guys like Wyatt and Reed, and even Lowry's, when he gets his chance, he makes plays. It's he just has the nose for finding the ball and just being around, somebody when they fumble, being able to pick it up or he just has a mind for football, and that's what, obviously is important. So, going to be exciting. Those three position battles, safety, D-line, and wide receiver, are the ones I look forward to watching the most. Every position is important. There's only 53 guys that make the roster initially, with obviously practice squad guys and so on. But most I'd like to see the numbers, but it seems like if you make the practice squad, you are likely going to be on the roster at some point during the season, if not somebody else's roster. So, I mean, it's 17 weeks. People get injured. People rotate. Things happen. So, just, put the best tape you can out there every single day and just try to at least make the team, make the practice squad. Likely you'll get a chance at some point, and you just got to be ready. So, that's why I love camp so much. It's just, all these guys that you don't think, Danny Davis, Wisconsin Badger. I loved watching him with Wisconsin, and obviously we're a running team mostly, so the receivers don't get a lot of love. But Danny Davis being able to come in, undrafted free agent rookie, and make some nice catches. He's kind of already ahead of the two USFL guys they just signed, Ishmael Hyman and Osiris Mitchell, who both had some boneheaded plays, drops, and Osiris was totally on a different page than Love on like a smoke screen or something. So, just stuff to watch. But Danny Davis making catches, Watkins and Watson hurt. Who knows? There's always at least one of those undrafted rookie free agents that make the squad. A couple years ago it was Chris Barnes, and so you never know. It's just interesting to see. I think like Vernon Scott did that too, or Sean Davis even did. But I think he was drafted. So, but still, kind of these no-name guys who come in and don't really expect to make the squad, and then they do. So, that's the coolest thing, is just having guys who weren't expected to be there, come in and perform. So, I just, can't wait to watch. And another notable names. So, yeah, Tyler Davis, the tight end. Obviously, Tanyan's out. DeGuara I haven't heard a lot from. I heard kind of before the season, or before training camp started, that DeGuara might be on his way out if they didn't like what they saw. Tyler Davis is coming in. They like what his upside, and it'll be interesting to see, especially with Tanyan out, and Mercedes Lewis is not really that pass-catching tight end, more of a run blocker, and, a few plays here and there, but it will be interesting to see if Tyler Davis can jump over DeGuara and kind of take some of those tight end one snaps until Tanyan gets back. So, somebody's name I've been hearing a lot, Tyler Davis. Is he gonna be that guy? We will see. Sean Ryan, the guard, he's been playing really well. Some like one-on-ones, he's been doing great. He's just a big, powerful man, and I think once they give him his shot on the offensive line, he's not going to relinquish it at all. He's just going to, they're going to give him that right guard spot, and he's never going to let it go. So, watch for that. That's kind of my prediction. I think he's going to definitely take over on that offensive line. He's too good not to be one of the 5 starters, and that's my opinion. And finally, Jordan Love, he's really coming into his own. You got to give the kid credit. Came into like I said before, an awkward situation with the COVID stuff going on, and then with Rodgers, is he staying, is he going, and then having everybody be mad that they drafted the quarterback when Rodgers just, they got to the NFC Championship game. So, all this stuff around this kid, and none of it his fault, and all he does is try to do his best. He got thrown into a game against Kansas City because Rodgers failed for COVID or lied about COVID, all that stuff, so it's just for Love to be able to get through all that, get through that crazy game where they did almost win. He was off, but he did throw a touchdown, but to get through all that and still be able to progress like he has, be in the position where he is the QB2 for the Packers and in line for QB1 if Rodgers does decide to leave whenever he decides to leave, and I think the kid's got a lot of talent. He's made some really good rate throws. He's super mobile. He's bigger than Rodgers. He's 6'4", so it's just he's something that he's a guy that I think with the time they gave him to develop coming out of college, he only really had like one good season and kind of got fast tracked up the draft. Everybody kind of started talking about him, so he kind of got jumped up. He might not have even gone that high otherwise, but he was kind of the hype of the draft, and then Packers traded up and got him, and he's still raw. And so giving him this 3 years, even if it turns to 4 or 5 years to wait behind Rodgers, even though he'll be an expensive backup next year, the year after, and once he hits his, finishes off his rookie deal. But if we have a guy who can come in and perform, well, or better than most of these other guys in the league's tough. As you can see, there's a lot of quarterbacks, or a lot of teams that don't have quarterbacks, and a lot of quarterbacks who just aren't very good, and their teams don't have much success. So, I look for Love to have really an opportunity to play well in preseason. Danny Etling's the third quarterback. He's probably not going to make the squad, probably be a practice squad guy, but, we don't have a lot of guys that can play preseason, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Jordan Love, and I really think that he's going to do much, much better this year. So that's it for day 2. We're going to see what goes on day 3. They put the pads on coming up here soon, and that's what I can't wait to see. That's when it really matters. That's when, injuries happen, so God forbid, knock on wood. And then, that's when you really can tell if a guy is the real deal or not, because, like I said, Doubs is busting open, getting these catches. But once you put the pads on, let's see if you can keep doing it. So, all right, that's it for the day. Peace out, guys. See you in the next one.